Welcome to your daily inner workout for Biocode 4, the talk codes, all about effortless communication. This is a really, really rich biocode. There is a lot packed in here, and for sure, this will drastically improve your conversations and your relationships. So remember, it's a practice. We can't say that enough, that it is a practice, and these skills take time to build. So in effortless communication, we learn that there are hidden good intentions behind others' weaker words. And we learned the power of saying what we want and translating others' weaker words for them in our heads and communicating with them as if they've said it in a stronger way to begin with. Remember that weak communication is not a meanness, it is a weakness. So first and foremost, like all of the biocodes, to have compassion for yourself and for others who are just trying to do the best they can. So the 3-step process for effortless communication includes awareness and noticing when you are in a challenging conversation. Then you want to adjust. A helpful tip in here is to notice those NT words that Dr. Jill talked about. Can't, won't, don't, shouldn't. Those are a telltale sign of weak words and that someone, maybe you, is not communicating what they want, that they're struggling for language in that moment. So if you are the person with the weaker words, replace those NT words with the key phrases. I want, I'd like, I'd prefer, as a way of saying what you want instead of what you don't want. And if the other person is the person with the weaker words, you are going to silently translate to yourself in your head using those phrases. So if someone says, that's not what I wanted, or you didn't do it right, you translate that they want it done differently. And that's the adjustment piece. The action piece is replying back as if they'd said it correctly to begin with. So you are going to translate in your mind, and then the words that come out of your mouth are going to be a translation to help that conversation move forward. So the metaphor we like to think of for this is the spinning wheel. So you are going to spin these words into gold, these weak words into strong words. Again, this is a robust biocode that takes a lot of practice. So as you go into your week, start noticing. See where you can apply this skill. Start noticing for yourself when you are showing up with weaker language. Start noticing what your intentions are so you can first and foremost start communicating more clearly. And notice other people's weaker words. Again, you can really turn this into a game. Calculate points by the number of NT words that you find throughout your day. So you all can do this. And remember, we are building on a process here. So keep catching your moments. Any biocode moment is one in which you feel uncomfortable, annoyed, irritated, even if you are the person causing that irritation. You're going to keep the focus on yourself like we learned in Biocode 1. You're going to stop the negative story loop in your head like we learned in Biocode 2. You are going to practice hitting pause as we learned in Biocode 3. That timing is everything. We need time for our emotions to settle, and we only interact when all parties are emotionally neutral. And then here we are with effortless communication. Notice those uncomfortable conversations. Notice when communications becomes challenging. Recognize that the person is doing their best to communicate with the best skills that they have, that there is a hidden good intention behind weaker words, and your challenge is to find it. Start by noticing those NT words. These are good telltale signs. Silently translate in your head using the phrases, I want, I'd like, I'd prefer, and reply to the person as if they'd said their request originally. Remember, as you practice this week, that you are building a skill set. So you're going to go back to week 1 and remember that first step of just catching and noticing those uncomfortable moments and praising yourself. If you notice your attention is outside of yourself, practice self-empowerment and bring the focus back to yourself. If you notice that negative story loop in your head, that's when you can practice Biocode 2. You're going to stop that negative story with a 1-word emotion and practice the opposite. And when you find yourself in a stormy situation, you have the opportunity to put the timing codes to use and practice self-regulation. Use the power of pause to observe whether it's best to walk, talk, or listen. And remember, the only functional time to interact is when all parties are emotionally neutral. And now you have the skills of effortless communication. So as you interact this week, practice using your inner translator and practice saying what you want. This is a skill that really is going to be awesome in your life. So good luck this week. Let's hit the gym.